Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. This is my review for Melody Time, which came out in 1948, is the 5th film in the Disney package film era, and is their 10th animated movie overall. The movie is essentially several shorts strung together with more popular music, and it's another attempt to try to recreate what Fantasia was in 1940. Now, much like with Make Mine Music, I'm going to review this in the same way I reviewed that movie, where I'm just going through each individual segment. But right off the bat, I will say that this is a movie I actually liked a lot more than Make Mine Music. And when I say I dislike Make Mine Music, I mean that more in the sense of having to watch the entire movie from beginning to end. Like I said in my review, I think several of those shorts work fantastic on their own, but watching them all together with the shorts that are just flat out pointless feels like a chore. But with Melody Time, I feel like there's a lot more creativity put into these shorts. There are only 7, and none of them really feel like filler. Of course, some are better than others, but on a whole, I think Melody Time is just a more interesting movie compared to Make Mine Music. The first segment is called Once Upon a Winter Time, and it's pretty much the story of two lovers out on a date. They go ice skating, they have a misunderstanding to where they kind of break up, and eventually throughout some very unusual events to occur on a date, they get back together and live happily ever after. It's a cute segment, and I gotta say, I've actually seen clips of this short long before seeing this movie, and it was part of one of Disney's sing-along videotapes. It was Christmas themed, and when they did their whole Jingle Bells segment, they showed clips of this segment here. And again, it's cute, it's well animated. It's interesting how the two lovers don't actually have dialogue, but the story is told through song. And the songs are being performed by Francis Langford, and it's really good. It's a good short overall. The one thing that did kind of confuse me though, and maybe this was to draw in the kids, was there are two bunnies that go through the exact same motions as the main characters do, right down to the point where they're on a date, they have a falling out, and then they get back together again. And it's a bit weird. It's weird that the bunnies are just there, but whatever. The next segment is called Bumble Boogie, and it's essentially about a bumblebee trying to live. And the music accompanying this segment is Flight of the Bumblebee, but done in a more jazz style. And this was actually one of the segments that was considered for Fantasia, but instead they just saved it for Melody Time and basically modernized it. It's a cool short, and when you watch it, you can definitely tell that this was planned for Fantasia, because there are a lot of moments here that are very artistic and in a way abstract. Nothing too extreme and nothing as high quality as the shorts in Fantasia, but still really fun one nonetheless. The next segment is The Legend of Johnny Appleseed, and it pretty much is the story of John Chapman, who traveled across the Midwest America planting apple seeds wherever he went and spreading the good word of Jesus. Unlike Bumble Boogie, you can tell that this was not planned for Fantasia, because it has lyrics in it, it has a narration accompanying it, it's got voice performances, and it's also the second longest segment in Melody Time, clocking in at 17 minutes. And it's a fun short. I don't like it as much as the first two, but it's definitely a good one nonetheless. The next one is called Little Toot, which involves a tugboat who wants to try to help out, especially his dad, who's in the tugboat industry as well. And it's a segment I honestly could do without. Like, it's cute, but I don't know, it's just not all that interesting to me personally. Although it is kind of funny to see Disney get as much mileage as they can out of the Andrews sisters, since they were also in Make Mine Music, similar to how Dinah Shore popped up in Make Mine Music and Fun and Fancy Free. The next segment is called Trees, which is nothing really special. It's just a bunch of abstract images involving trees. And it's definitely beautiful, I'll give them that. There's not much of a story like with Little Toot or The Legend of Johnny Appleseed, but it definitely has a lot more going for it in terms of artistic style and just imagination than the worst segments of Make Mine Music. The sixth segment, which is the second to last, is called Blame It on the Samba, and this one brings back Donald Duck and Jose Carioca, who we last saw in the movies in The Three Caballeros. And it has a weird start because it starts off with the two of them walking down a road just depressed and almost like they're out of breath or life. And then they run into the Araguan bird who decides to bring some life into them in a segment that looks like it was pulled straight out of the Three Caballeros, or at least it may have been planned for it, but then they just decided to cut it at the last minute. And I gotta be honest, when I was scrolling through Disney Plus trying to find Melody Time, once I found it and selected it, the first thing I see is the Araguan bird, and immediately I thought to myself, oh God, please no. No more of this Woody Woodpecker knockoff. Thankfully, I didn't find him as annoying or as troublesome as he was in the Three Caballeros. And it's another fun segment. The very last segment of the movie is Pecos Bill. And it reminds me a lot of Casey at Bat from Make My Music, where it's kind of goofy, it has some very, very cartoonish moments to it, and it's a lot of fun. Again, I know I've been saying that a lot, and some of you are just bored by me saying it's a lot of fun several times, but really that sums up this movie altogether. It's got some good moments to it, and on a whole, I like this a lot better than Melody Time because I don't think there's any segment that feels pointless. So if I were to give this whole thing a rating, I'd say it's good, but it's not great. There really hasn't been a movie in the package film era that's wowed me. And again, I can understand why, because they were going through a lot of financial troubles. Even with most of the movies in this era coming out after the war, you can tell there were a lot of points where they had to cut corners and not just spend a whole amount of money like they could in the golden age, with the exception of Dumbo. Not a whole lot of depth to this review, but to be honest, there wasn't a whole lot that caught my interest. And there you go, that's my review for Melody Time. Now, next week we're going to be talking about the final film in the package film era, which is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, which I have seen half of this movie on repeat several times. And by half of the movie, I mean one of the segments. We will get to that next week so you can find out which segment I'm talking about. But first, I want to know what you guys think about Melody Time. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you all for watching my review for Melody Time. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share me with your friends. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go check out my Twitch channel and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.